So glad to have Dr. Dominique Reese. She's the author of Master My Money, 16 Steps to Solve Your Money Problems and Create a Foundation for Financial Freedom. How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. How's it going out in LA?
It's going, the weather's awesome. It does get pretty cool at night, but it's motivating.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to get right to it. I know you from teaching youngsters in the world of money, but if you could tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, I am Dr. Dominique Reese. I'm a mom. I'm an entrepreneur. I love my people. I'm out here doing the work I feel like I've been called to do, which is in personal finance. I operate Reese Financial Services, which is a financial services and education firm where I teach people and help people with their money. Specifically, I work with entrepreneurs, leaders, and professionals who are serving in their divine purpose and have money problems they need to solve. This is the work I've been doing for the past 17 years, and I love it. And I'm just looking forward to what 2021 has to offer for me, my brand, my business, my family, and really the clients that I'm going to serve.
No, that's why, I'm so glad that you're here. As I was reading your book, I'm just going to talk about some of the things that just, caught my attention. A lot of things that caught my attention, but let's get right to it. What does empowerment mean to you? You talk about empowerment a lot in your book. What does empowerment mean to you?
It's truly about having the tools to do what you need and or want to do. I've heard so many perspectives about empowerment, like, oh, we as coaches or counselors or advisors, we don't empower our clients. They empower themselves, or you can't empower people. And I don't fall into either any of those philosophies per se. I just know empowerment is about tools, and what that tool might be varies based upon the area we're focused on. So for me, empowerment is all about giving people the tools they need to achieve the goals they have.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. You also encourage people not to be victimized or be victims. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I believe, well, first, everything in divine order. So I live that, and I practice it in my business. So we are not just in a state of things happening to us. Nothing just happens. It's a divine order of things that are happening. And that divinity may come from your higher being or source, or it may be coming from you. But it is a decision. We've got to where we are in our financial lives and really in any part of our lives based on a decision. And sometimes those decisions aren't of us, and so we're just impacted by it. But for those decisions that do start with us, those decisions then become what we live out days, weeks, months, years later. So we can't just say, oh, well, I'm in this situation. We kind of got ourselves in that situation, even in this environment, I think.
No, and you speak about that in your book. The other thing that I was really, thought was very, very interesting is your honesty in the book. I mean, you talk about being a financial expert, but then you also kind of share about some of your issues. Can you elaborate?
Absolutely. I think this is one of the most underspoken areas in our industry. It's truly like pulling back the curtain. I want you to listen to me, but you don't know anything about me and my journey and my story. And if I've been there and done that, and I found that my authenticity with working with clients is received because I'm transparent about the things that I've gone through, even as an expert. And if you remove the label of my role or title, I'm human. And I think a lot of times we look at experts as non-human and they make no mistakes. I'm human first. I've learned what I've learned by going through the things I've been through. So honestly, in order for me to counsel and coach and educate, my story has to be a part of that narrative. And it's not always pretty. And I've been through it. So I know how to help someone who's living paycheck to paycheck because I've lived paycheck to paycheck. I've taken advantage of payday loans. So I know how helpful they can be, yet how toxic they can be. I've been there and I've done that. And I think when working, especially with money and one-on-one with people, they want to know that you're not judging them and that you're not working with them on this holier than thou relationship. I'm equal to you, firstly and foremost, because I'm human. And second, I don't know everything. Even as an expert, experts are like snapshots in time. I know what I know based on this amount and this time. So, I'm always learning. And then I'm not afraid to tell clients if I don't know something. Like, I'm an expert at what I know, but again, I don't know everything. I know someone who could help you. So now I'm still valuable, even if I don't know everything. That's not the goal. The goal is not to know everything. It's to specifically transform the lives of people who need what I have, because I've been through a set of circumstances that really give me authority to speak on these things and then provide solutions to those who come after.
That's a great point, because oftentimes you find, just in this field or instruction, it's like hot or cold. There's always there's these extremes. And as I was reading your book, it seemed like you gave flexibility, for people to, to do what's really focused with them. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like a cookie cutter, okay, do this, do that. You really were kind of trying to instruct them to find out their personal position and then move forward. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Master My Money is a concept, and it's about self. It's truly about self-work, and money is so personal to begin with that when you're in something that needs a solution, you go looking for help and you're like, well, who should I talk to? And how do I feel comfortable sharing my business? There's all these things that come up, but I like to just start with like the mindset stuff. It's like, first of all, stop beating yourself up about what you don't know. Let's start there. And then let's focus on why you've done those things. I mean, so many times we want to go straight to the numbers, but we really need to understand the behavior first, because money's behavioral. And more than anything, that's based on your behavior. So the solution for me is based on my behavior, whereas that same solution might work for you, but may need some tweaking based on your behavior. Right. So it's important that, finances, all the solutions are Googleable, but once you start to apply it to yourself, you really got to take a look at, well, how did I get here? Why did I not do that right? I know better, but I didn't do better. I know I should be saving. I know how important debt is. We know these things, but we're not seeing the results. That's because we're not connecting our behavior to where we want to be and how we get there. And so Master My Money is a way for us to start exploring the self track of our finances.
Right. And I'm sure that you encounter a lot of different, I'm going to say excuses, but reasons why folks are in the situation they're in. And, have you ever heard, all I need to do is make a little bit more money and I won't be living from paycheck to paycheck? You've heard that before?
Yes. Used to believe it. Like, again, been there. Used to believe it until I realized, actually, no, it's not about how much I make, because I made more and I spent more. Behavior. So it always comes back to that. And yes, the excuses are far and wide. I mean, I can't do this until this happens. I call that the waiting syndrome, or the if then. If this happens, so if my tax return is $2,000, then I'll save 200. Like, well, that's a big if and a big then. And if that happens altogether. So it's this if then, or when this happens, or once that happens, then I'll take a look at my finances, when we know that's just another tactic to delay us putting the energy where we really need to put our energy.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. No, the questions were so helpful. As I was reading the book, and there was certain things that I felt really good about. There was other things that I was like, oh man, I'm, I'm missing it, there. But it was good. I found the questions very, very interesting, and you really had to kind of start that process of kind of asking yourself the question, well, why do you continually get into this situation? Why do you continually, what is it about that? And I know you mentioned something about 30, 60, and 90, but I thought that was really, really interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, it's again behavior. I found that even in thinking about where we are and what we need and where we should be, like checklists are great, especially with money. But I've always found it like, okay, well, when does it stop? Like, there's this universal world of money. How do I know that I got it all covered? And so for me, creating a foundation and the Mastermind Money concept was all about that. It's like, yeah, we know we should get our financial house in order, but what does that mean? What are the areas of the house? How do I know that they're in order? And once they're in order, do I move on or do I have to come back? Like, so giving people at least the pillars, like these are the areas of your financial house. And then ask yourself these questions with respect to each of those areas. Now you can check in on just one area rather than being overwhelmed by get my financial house in order and what that really means.
Yeah.
And now I can be a bit more strategic. Now I can implement a debt reduction strategy that takes into account my budget, that also takes into account me saving. So now I'm saving while paying down debt and operating a budget. Mm-hmm. Great. But outside of a framework, outside of some concepts, it's like all of this stuff I got to do. Oh, that's a lot. Or I'm not sure where to start. It's so nebulous. It's like, again, this big universal world. So my goal there was to just really give people something tangible. Like, what does a foundation look like? What does it include? What should my house include? I want to get my house in order.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant because, I was going to ask, there's so much information overload. So there's so much information that people, there's so many different, this steps for this and this step for that, and do this, and it'll be, and it was brilliant to kind of say, hey, wait, first start with the foundation first. This is your foundation, and this will allow you to be better at dealing with any information that you kind of deal with, and you can kind of, segment that information and use it more efficiently and effectively. That was really, really good. How can people get the book?
Great question. It is on Amazon, so you can simply Google Mastermind Money or Dr. Dominique Reese, and it should pop up on Amazon. You can also go to reesefinancialservices.com, which is the website, and you can find it there on the website as well.
Got it. Again, 2021 is, I mean, a lot of people are just kind of just waiting, like, I can't wait until 2021. So what should folks be doing? They should get your book. They should definitely get your book. But what should folks be doing to prepare themselves financially for 2021?
Great question. And, as cliche as it is, it's really like, start planning now.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. I think in these unprecedented times, it becomes even more important for people to really ask themselves, how am I going to make it? Because I think we've seen when things are out of our control, you don't have a say in that. You don't have a say if you go to work. You don't have a say if you can make money by somebody else's means. So I really want people to start turning the lens on themselves and ask, how can I ensure I'm financially straight next year? So I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. So independent of COVID, I know how to make money. Am I tapping all of my skills? Am I selling all of those are money conversations that start with you. And that starts now. You don't need to wait for January 1. You're actually too late at that point. We need to start having this conversation now. You need to start printing worksheets and doing them. You buying all these courses, people enrolling in programs. Get together with self, have a money meeting with self for at least 30 minutes and simply write out what you want next year to look like. Right. That's not going to happen next year. That's got to start right now so we can get the building blocks in place. We can get the strategies in place, and you can take a look at the numbers. What are the numbers saying? If your numbers are what they are right now, more than likely, they may not change between now and the end of the year, or in order for them to change, we've got to do some planning because there's some changes that need to be made. So we've just got to take time right now, this weekend, next weekend, independent of holidays. I know for some reason we turn off during holidays, like we can't get any work done. A 15-minute journal entry, exploration, stream of consciousness. What do you want 2021 to look like financially? And whatever that answer is, we got to get started now.
Good stuff. Talk a little bit about your network in a sense for the person wanting to get to that next level. How important is your network? Because everything is a lot of money management is behavioral, especially personal money management. How important is your network to kind of reaching your goals and staying on course?
It is extremely important. As a financial coach and strategist and consultant, one of the topics that comes up a lot is making money, right? How can I make more money? And I find that beyond self, when you start to think about other people and how they can help you, that's where our network should come into play. I'm out of a job that's impacting my money. I should be able to go to my network and say, hey, so-and-so, 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 I'm out of a job. Help me out. They know what I do, or I send them my resume. And from that network, I should be able to land an interview that directly impacts my money. And so for me, the power of a network is that if you have one that you're leveraging, it should have good and positive and profitable implications for your entire life, not just your professional life, because our networks go beyond our profession. And then to the extent that I've had this issue this year, I found like I'm not putting myself in the right network so that I can get to the next level. So don't be too comfy with the people who you already know. It's time to truly start leveraging LinkedIn. You got all these people on here, start making them contacts, introduce yourself. You got to put yourself out there. It's not enough to just be referred within your network. You sometimes have to put effort into putting ourselves out there and meeting new people across the pond, across the sea, across the wherever, so that we can not only expand the network, but also learn how we can be a resource to other people. That's how a lot of opportunities come. When you put yourself out there, somebody knows you and what you do. Now you're top of mind for whatever that opportunity might look like. But now they're thinking of you. So I'm actively doing that. I'm practicing what I'm preaching, and I'm leveraging like LinkedIn like never before. And again, a sign of the times, we may not be able to network in person. So really utilizing the technology to help us do this is extremely important, more now than ever.
Wow. So you see, America, we have a font of information and just great insight in personal finance. Dr. Dominique Reese. Doc, is there anything else that you would want to tell our listeners, our viewers? Anything that you would want to say at this point?
Absolutely. I actually just want to encourage everyone to focus on self, vision, and purpose, because I believe everything in divine order. I believe that these times are presenting a huge and rare opportunity to go back to basics. And what that really means is the ways in which we earn a living in this country, they're somewhat being dismantled. And so now that leaves the everyday hardworking American to figure out for self, how am I going to survive? And that answer with respect to like making money and the practical day-to-day, what I got coming in, That solution lies in our personal vision, mission, and purpose. And I just believe God put it in all of us to be purposeful. So when we're like, how am I going to make money? You got to turn inward. You have a gift, you have a talent, you have a skill that no one else on this earth was mandated with. And so when you can discover what that is,
Right.
now you can start making money from it. You won't have to worry about these systems being the way that we earn our income. So I just want to leave that as a word of encouragement to go in and explore your vision, your purpose for these times right now and beyond.
Get the book, y'all. Yeah. Get the book. All right. You heard enough. Get the book. Dr. Dominique Reese, Master My Money, 16 Steps to Solve Your Money Problems and Create a Foundation for Financial Freedom. Thank you so much, sis, for coming on the show. And I have one more question. Will you come back on the show?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thanks so much. Enjoy the holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Christmas. Prosperous and healthy New Year.
Thank you, sir. You too. Peace and blessings.
See you. All right.
Informs, uplifts, and elevates, and inspires, takes you higher.